The Joker. The Joker from The Dark Knight is not just a great villain. He is the greatest performance of all time. It all starts with Heath Ledger, an actor who didn't just play the Joker. He became him. He locked himself in a hotel room for weeks. He kept a diary of the Joker's thoughts. He created a voice, a walk, a lick of the lips that made your skin crawl. And sadly, he died before the movie even came out. The Joker in this film has no origin story. He tells different stories about his scars every time. Sometimes it's about his abusive father. Sometimes it's about his wife. Nobody knows the truth. That's the point. He's an idea. You can't reason with an idea. You can't kill an idea. You can't negotiate with someone who just wants to watch the world burn. His plan in The Dark Knight is simple. Break Harvey Dent, the White Knight of Gotham, the symbol of hope. If he can corrupt the best man in the city, then everyone is corrupt. Everyone is one bad day away from becoming a monster. And you know what? He was right. Harvey becomes Two-Face. He goes on a killing spree. The Joker wins. Batman has to take the blame for Harvey's murders just to preserve the lie that Gotham still has heroes. The darkest part of the Joker isn't the magic trick with the pencil. It's not the hospital explosion. It's the boat scene. Basically, there were two ferries, one full of civilians, one full of prisoners. Each has a detonator to blow up the other boat. The Joker says if neither boat blows up by midnight, he'll blow up both. And neither boat does. The civilians vote to blow up the prisoners, but can't do it. The prisoners throw their detonator out the window. The Joker's experiment fails, but just barely. Heath Ledger's Joker is terrifying because he's having fun. He's laughing while people die. He's telling jokes while Gotham burns. And you can't look away. That's why it's the greatest performance of all time. Darth Vader. Darth Vader is one of the greatest villains in all of fiction, not because he's the most evil, but because he's the most tragic. It all starts with Anakin Skywalker, a slave boy on Tatooine who was supposed to be the chosen one. The Jedi Council said he would bring balance to the Force, and for a while, it looked like they were right. He was powerful. He was brave. He was the best star pilot in the galaxy. But Anakin had one fatal flaw. He loved too much. He fell in love with Padme Amidala, which the Jedi forbade. And when he started having nightmares about her dying, he panicked. That's when Chancellor Palpatine, his friend and mentor, revealed himself as a Sith Lord. Palpatine promised Anakin he could save Padme from death using the dark side. All Anakin had to do was betray everything he believed in. And he did. He helped Palpatine destroy the Jedi Order. He murdered younglings' children. He choked his pregnant wife. He lost a duel to his own master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, who left him burning alive on a volcanic planet. And when he woke up inside the black suit, the first thing he asked was about Padme. Palpatine told him he killed her in his anger. That was a lie. She died giving birth to his children. But Vader didn't know that. What makes Vader great isn't his force choke or his red lightsaber. It's the fact that underneath all that armor, there's still a broken man who hates himself. He can't breathe without the suit. He can't eat real food. He serves the man who destroyed his life because he has nowhere else to go. And in the end, when he sees his son Luke being tortured by Palpatine, he makes one choice. One good choice after decades of evil. He throws the Emperor down a reactor shaft and saves his son. Then he dies, asking to see Luke with his own eyes. Not through the mask. Just a man, finally at peace. That's why Vader is the greatest. Thanos. Thanos from Avengers Infinity War is one of the most controversial villains ever written. Not because people hate him, because people think he's right. It all starts on Titan, Thanos' home planet. He saw his world dying from overpopulation. He proposed a solution. Kill half the population randomly, and the survivors would live in paradise. They called him mad. They were wrong. Titan collapsed. Everyone died. And Thanos spent the rest of his life trying to prove he was right. He collected the 6 Infinity Stones, artifacts of godlike power, and snapped his fingers. Half of all life in the universe turned to dust. Not just people. Animals, plants, everything. And here's the messed up part. He wasn't wrong about the math. Overpopulation is a real problem. Resource scarcity is real, but his solution was just absolutely psychotic. Thanos genuinely believed he was a hero. He didn't build statues of himself. He didn't want worship. After the snap, he destroyed the stones, retired to a farm, and grew space vegetables. He thought his work was done. He called it mercy. The audience called it genocide with good intentions. What makes Thanos great is that you understand him. You don't agree with him, but you understand. He watched his planet die because nobody listened, and he swore that would never happen again. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and Thanos paved a superhighway. Scar. Scar from The Lion King is one of the most underrated villains in Disney history. He's also one of the most realistic. It all starts with Mufasa, the king of Pride Rock. He's strong and loved. He has a son named Simba who will take the throne. Scar is Mufasa's younger brother. He's weak, jealous, and he wants to be king. But Scar can't take the throne by force. He'd lose. So he uses his brain. He befriends the hyenas, the outcasts of the Pride Lands, and promises them food if they help him. He tricks Simba into going to the elephant graveyard. He orchestrates a wildebeest stampede. He kills Mufasa not with his claws, but with betrayal. He tells Simba it was his fault. He tells him to run away and never return. And then he takes the throne. What makes Scar so great is his his pettiness. He doesn't want to be a good king. He just wants to be king. Under his rule, the Pride Lands turn into a wasteland. The hyenas overhunt. The herds leave. The lions starve. And Scar blames everyone but himself. He's a politician. He's a liar. He's a coward. When Simba returns to challenge him, Scar tries to cheat. He reveals he killed Mufasa. He tries to blame the hyenas. And when they hear him, they turn on him. He dies not by Simba's paw, but by the teeth of his own allies. Jeremy Irons didn't get an Oscar for voicing a cartoon lion, but he should have, because Scar is one of Shakespeare's most tragic villains and voiced with such delicious evil that kids grew up terrified and adults grew up impressed. Hans Landa. Hans Landa from Inglorious Basterds, played by Christoph Waltz, is the villain who talks people to death. It all starts in Nazi-occupied France. Hans Landa is an SS colonel known as the Jew Hunter, and he is terrifying not because of what he does, but because of how politely he does it. He shows up at a French farmhouse, drinks a glass of milk, compliments the farmer's daughters, and then casually explains that he knows the farmer is hiding a Jewish family under the floorboards. He doesn't scream or threaten. He just smiles and waits. The opening scene of Inglorious Bastard is 10 minutes of conversation. 10 minutes of Hans Landa asking questions, drinking milk, being charming, and by the end, you're sweating because you know what's coming. And when it comes, it's sudden, brutal, and final. The family under the floorboards is shot. The farmer's daughter runs. She gets gunned down in the field, and Hans Landa lights a pipe and watches. Christoph Waltz's performance is a miracle. He speaks 4 languages in the film, switching effortlessly between German, French, English, and Italian. His delivery is precise. He won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, and everyone agreed it was deserved, and Hans Landa became one of the most quoted, most studied, and most unforgettable villains in cinema history. Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter from the TV series Hannibal is not a cannibal. He's an artist who uses human flesh as his medium. It all starts with Will Graham, an FBI profiler with a rare ability to empathize with killers. Hannibal, a respected psychiatrist, takes Will under his wing. He helps Will understand the monsters they hunt. But the whole time, Hannibal is the monster, and he's manipulating Will into becoming one too. Hannibal doesn't just kill people. He curates them. He serves his victims to dinner guests who compliment the meal. He turns bodies into art installations. He frames Will for his own murders just to see what happens. In the TV show, Hannibal genuinely loves Will. In his own twisted, destructive way, he wants Will to accept his true nature, to become like him, to kill with him. Mads Mikkelsen plays Hannibal Lecter, and it's one of the most hypnotic performances ever put on television. Anthony Hopkins made Hannibal scary. Mads made him seductive. He doesn't snarl or growl. He just stands there, perfectly still, watching you with eyes that see everything. He could be planning your murder or planning your dinner menu. With Mads, you can't tell the difference. And that's the point. The darkest part of Hannibal is the relationship. By the end of the series, Will has become exactly what Hannibal wanted. He kills with him. He bleeds with him. Hannibal won, not by corrupting Will, but by making Will choose corruption. Homelander. Homelander from The Boys is the most realistic supervillain ever created. Not because of his powers, because of his psychology. It all starts with a boy named John, raised in a laboratory by Vought, a corrupt corporation that creates superheroes for profit. He never had parents, never had love and boundaries. He was told he was perfect every single day, and he believed it. Homelander has the powers of Superman: flight, heat vision, super strength, invulnerability. But he has the emotional intelligence of a neglected toddler. He craves approval and needs love. And when he doesn't get it, he destroys everything around him. He made his son watch him laser the face off a protester, and he smiled afterward. Here's what makes Homelander terrifying. He's a monster in a cape, and half of America loves him. He has fans, merch, and a theme park ride. People cheer when he shows up. That's his only source of validation. The crowd, the cameras, and the love. Anthony Starr nailed this role. Nobody else could do it. He can switch from a warm, reassuring smile to dead-eyed rage in a single frame. He makes you feel sorry for a guy who just threatened to laser a baby. It's the best acting in any superhero show. Anton Chigurh. Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men is not a villain. He is death himself. It all starts in West Texas, 1980. A hunter named Llewellyn Moss finds a briefcase full of money at a drug deal gone wrong. He takes it, and Anton Chigurh is sent to get it back. But Chigurh isn't a normal hitman. He doesn't kill for money or revenge. He kills because fate tells him to. Chigurh uses a captive bolt pistol, a tool designed to slaughter cattle. He flips a coin to decide whether people live or die, and he genuinely believes he's not responsible for the outcome. The coin is fate. He's just the instrument. When a gas station owner calls the coin correctly, Chigurh lets him live. But not because he's merciful, because the coin chose mercy. Chigurh is just following orders from the universe. Javier Bardem played Anton Chigurh, and it's one of the most terrifying performances ever captured on film. Bardem didn't need a monologue or a big action scene. He just stood there, with that haircut, those dead eyes, that flat voice. He made silence scarier than screaming. He won an Oscar for it, and honestly, they should have given him 2. One for acting, one for making an entire generation afraid of making fun of bowl-cut hairs. And that's about it for this video. Let me know in the comments which villain is the greatest and your favorite. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.